Alrighty. Again with the hair. All right, awesome. Cool. Waiting for the stream to pop up here. Sorry about the background noise, guys. All right, guys, what's up? Josh here, Momentum Productions. Thank you for tuning in. Today's Tuesday. Sorry, we have a steamer in the background here. But hey, how you doing, Sebastian? The noise will die down in just a little bit, so sorry about that. But yeah, what's up? So today's Tuesday. This is a traditional live Q&A day, so I wanted to take this time to answer some of your questions. Again, let's wait a few minutes for some people to tune in. This takes a while for for notifications to hit people's feeds, but that's okay. I'm getting the floors cleaned right now, so it's a little bit noisy in the background, but it's all right. So yeah, let's wait a minute or two. Let's populate the live stream with some people. Hopefully you brought some questions with you, Sebastian, I hope. So we can answer as many questions as possible. All right. I hope that sounds good to you. I'm going to go ahead and check the last live stream we did to see if we have any questions, unanswered questions. Let's see right here. Dun 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 dun. All right. So, unanswered question we have here from Angel Paris. Hi, great tutorials. Thanks so much. I've learned so much watching you. I have a question in shooting on the JH4 at the moment. I just bought a glide cam. How do you keep focus on the subject when you shoot alone? Is there any camera out there that can keep a single point focus while we shoot? I could really appreciate any insight of the question. Milo, peace. So that was a question asked by Angel Paris from our last live stream. He was asking about if there's any single point option to keep things in focus while using a glide cam. And Angel, to answer your question, yes, there's definitely a way to keep everything in focus, or at least most things in focus, and that is by watching one of my earlier tutorial videos on how to use a glide cam with a manual lens. I teach you exactly what I use when I'm trying to focus. So basically, to sum up that video, you want to drop down the aperture maybe to like an f11, and when you stop down the aperture, what happens is that you're letting a lot less light into the sensor. So you're making the sensor a lot less sensitive to light. Oh, excuse me, you're making it more sensitive to light. So what's going to happen is that more objects are going to remain in focus. However, since you're letting in a lot less light, one little obstruction on the lens will be seen in your footage. So when you stop down the light, you close in the amount of light that is allowed into the camera body. Any like little dust particles you'll most likely see in your footage. So when you do shoot with these types of settings, make sure that your lens is extremely clean. Otherwise, you're going to see dust particles, and that's not something that you want to work with. All right. So that, I hope, answers your question. So stop down and keep your focus at infinite. When you keep your focus at infinity focus and you're using a wide-angle lens, which is another thing I recommend you doing, wide-angle lenses are prone to keeping more things in focus than mid-range lenses, let's say. So for like a 14mm, 8mm lens, those things are prone to keeping things in focus. They're not guaranteed to keep things in focus, but if you use the settings that I told you to with the f-stop count or f-stop number, you will keep things in focus. So I hope that answered your question, Angel. I don't know if you're watching. I don't think you're watching right now, but eventually you will get to this video. And yeah. Okay, so that is that. Any more questions, guys, that you have for me? Let's ask. Yeah. Let's ask. Okay, updating the stream here with a better title. Yeah, definitely. Okay, cool. So any more questions, guys, please ask. Don't be shy. And I'm here at your disposal. I'm here for another half an hour at least. And then I got to go back to work. It is a beautiful day in Los Angeles. Beautiful. It's like 80 degrees outside. I went hiking earlier this morning. My grandmother's visiting from Australia, so I took her out. We went hiking, and that was fun. So yeah, let me know what questions you have. Go ahead and ask away. Don't be shy. What do you guys have for me? I think on the next couple Q&As, I'm just going to wait until I get a whole bunch of questions. That way I don't have to rely on current people who are watching to ask me questions. That way I can just go down the line of questions and answer them that way. I'll start doing that from now on for each Q&A. But if you have any questions right now, please ask them. I'm not going to hide anything from you. I'm open as a book. You can use this at your own disposal. We can talk about failures, successes, my failures, my successes. That way you can learn from my mistakes and do a better job in your career. So one of the biggest mistakes, if you're signed up to my newsletter on my website at www.capturethemomentum.com. Okay, it's too noisy. I got to go in a different area. Sorry. Come with me, guys. All right. Sorry about that. All right, we're in a quiet area now. All right. Yeah. The housekeeper is in the house and she's cleaning. All right, so what I wanted to talk to you guys about failures and successes, right? So one of the biggest failures I had as a filmmaker, and I think this is something that everybody can learn from, is having issues with clients in a way that, so when I started out as a filmmaker, I was never good at confrontation, right? So confronting people was just not a good thing for me right now, or at the time. What am I saying? A little. And what I did was working with a lot of clients over the past couple of years has really taught me how to be more assertive and be more confident with myself and my business. So when you're setting prices, be firm on your prices. Don't cut them in half. Don't go a third. Unless you're working with a friend, don't give anybody a discount. Be proud of your price. Be proud of your work. But of course, don't be upset if your work doesn't match your price. So if someone wants to pay you $10,000 for a 5-hour shoot, I mean, your work has to be $10,000 worth, otherwise it's not going to be good. All right. So that's something that you should know. All right. Okay, hang on 1 second here. So, all right. Sebastian Lopez is asking, are you working on a film or big project now? So I am right now. We're closing a deal right now with a pretty big car dealership. We're going to be doing a lot of car shoots, actually with Rob Riches. But keep it down on the hush-hush, right? Rob Riches is a fitness fanatic, car fanatic, and we're working on some really cool car stuff coming up. I can't talk much about it right now, but when it launches, it's going to be big. And I'm also going to be working on a new music video. I'm waiting for the client to get back to me with the signed contract on that. So that should be pretty cool, and I will let you know how that goes. Halvin Wolf, what's up, man? When shooting multiple subjects, any tips on changing focal length? So, what do you mean? Like, well, I know what you mean by changing focal length, but what would be the reason? Let me know what your reason would be. Selectography. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. What's up? Hey, what's up? Asav Osaka. What's up, man? How you doing? Yeah, guys, ask me more questions. Let's keep this chat live. The more questions we get, the more engagement that I see, the more viewers that we attract. So let's share this. Let's like it. Let's super chat it. And yeah, so that would be cool. All right. So let me see what we can do here. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm looking into something. Meanwhile, while I do that, please go ahead and populate the chat box with some questions. The more questions I get, obviously, the better. But yeah, that should be good. Okay. Honey Zamzami, what's up, man? How do you make the budget? You have to be a little bit more specific with that question. What do you mean, budget for what? What's the budget? I think what you're trying to ask is how you raise money. There's great tools for that. For example, there's Indiegogo.com, there's Kickstarter. There's a bunch of these websites that allow you to market your films, to market your projects, and to raise money that way. So consider it, because it does work. Okay, cool. All right, so hopefully that answered your question on how to make a budget. Kickstarter, Indiegogo, those companies, those websites are your best friend. They really are. So keep that in mind. Trying to get a good thumbnail for this live stream going, guys. I wonder what we can do here. But anyway, yeah. More questions, guys. Keep them coming. Don't be shy. Okay, cool. Oh, something awesome, guys. So I got a new bag from Think Tank Photo today. It's one of the newest bags they made. It's right over here. This here is the Think Tank Photo Streetwalker case. This is the newest bag in their lineup. It's a rolling backpack. Take a look. I zip this down and fold this over. Actually, wait. Yeah, so I roll this over. And we have backpack straps in here. So it's really cool. And it's also a rolling case. So there's a handle that pops up from the top here. And there's wheels at the bottom. This is the fourth case Think Tank Photo has sent me for reviewing. And guys, I don't think there's anything on these cases that I dislike. And I've had so many camera bags in my lifetime. I don't think I'm going to be buying from anybody else besides Think Tank Photo and Plastic Case, the company that makes Nanook. Those, in my opinion, right now are the best cases on the market. Lifetime warranty, waterproof, water resistant, shock resistant. They're fashionable as well. So it's just overall really cool. Okay. Next question here. Let's see what we have. Any tips on speeding up the editing process for videos? Yes, definitely some tips. Learn keyboard shortcuts. Keyboard shortcuts are your best friend. Also, another good helpful tip in editing, I consider it. Close this. It's a little distracting. When you're editing and you come across what I like to call editor's block and you just run out of ideas, don't continue to edit. Leave your home, leave your room, go out for a walk, go out for a cup of coffee, meet up with a friend, lunch, whatever. You need to go clear your mind. Once you get that block, that artistic block that every artist gets once in a while, you have to leave the situation and come back and reassess. So there were times with Rob Rich's videos, with Rebecca Black videos that I was editing and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing right now. So I had to leave the house, clear my head, come back, and I was able to finish editing. That, believe it or not, will save you a lot more time than waiting for some idea to pop in. Leave the situation, leave the zone, and reassess, okay? So that should help you out with editing. Hani Zamzami is asking actually a really good question here. He wants to know, how do you know how much money you will need to start doing a film? So as the director, as the producer actually, you have to figure out what kind of cameras you need, what kind of shots do you need, what lighting gear do you need, how many people on set do you need. You need to count exactly how big your crew has to be, what equipment you're using, how much time estimated will it take to use these shots. So what they taught me when I took film courses, one of the few things that I learned when I was in taking film courses, was that one page of script is equivalent to about 2 minutes of film, 1 to 2 minutes of film. So with that, you can kind of get an idea of how long the movie is going to be, but you won't really get an idea of how long the shooting time is going to be. It could be a very complicated scene. So you have to break everything down. What camera, what rental, how much rentals are going to be if you're going to be using a rental. This all has to be taken into account. I'm not a professional producer. I own all of my equipment, so I already have an estimate of if I need to rent out anything, or I just know how I work on my own and I can properly determine the time. But that's not something I learned overnight. This is something that I gained over a couple of years of experience. So keep that in mind. Halvin Wolf is asking, how do you keep focus or change focal length going back and forth between two or more subjects having a conversation? So it all depends on the type of lens you're using. For example, I have a Canon lens. It's a zoom lens, but when you zoom, it's very jumpy, right? It's not smooth. And I also have a Zeiss lens, which when I zoom, it's very smooth and beautiful. And then there's other lenses out there that are servo powered, so it's a motorized zoom. So when you're filming between two subjects, only use zoom lenses that have that smooth zoom. Never use those little slightly cheaper lenses that just jerk. Those are mainly maybe for photography, but not for cinematography. Not at all. So I'm telling you that right now. It really does depend on the lens. If you're shooting in 4K, you can even do post-production zooming in. So keep that in mind as well. Sebastian is asking, is it true that to change the exposure of the video, you change it with a variable ND filter instead of changing the shutter speed, aperture, and ISO because it will affect the look of it? Okay, so let me try and reread that question. Is it true that to change exposure of the video, you change it with a variable ND filter? So ISO can be changed. ND filter can be changed without affecting the look of the video. Now ISO is a little bit tricky. ISO can make your footage look more grainy, but after a certain threshold. There's cameras like the Sony A7S that can go up to 40,000 ISO without changing the look or creating extra artifacting or noise. So ISO to a certain extent will not change the look of the video. ND filter, you're correct. Shutter speed will make your video look different. It will make it look different. 24 frames look completely different from 30 frames, from 60 frames, from 120 frames. When you increase your shutter speed, uh, basically fast-moving subjects will not be moving throughout your scene clearly. They will be slightly disappearing because back in the day with old film cameras, everything worked off of a spinning disc with a slight, how do you say it, with a slight opening to let in light. And when we're talking about shutter speed, we're talking about the speed of that disc that would rotate. So how fast would it take for that disc to do a full rotation, which is why we say 1/30th of the second, 1/60th of the second. I'll make a tutorial video on shutter speed eventually. I'll get to it, but it's a little bit complicated because I don't have a diagram to show you. But basically, that's what our cameras use now, except it's all digital. It's not mechanical like it used to be. So shutter speed is how much light you actually allow the camera to see digitally. It's not mechanical like a shutter speed. So I hope that makes sense. So shutter speed, yes, will change the look of your video greatly. So keep that in mind. Any suggestions for a budget camera that can shoot 120 frames or more? Yeah, any Sony. I believe the cheaper Sony point-and-shoot cameras can do it. I think they're $400 or $500. They can shoot 120. I think that's what you mean by budget, right? Under $1,000. Isn't that ridiculous how expensive cameras are? Yeah, under $1,000, I would consider that being a budget camera. John Naji, thank you for all the tips. Can you do a video on Premiere Pro? I can. I'm not proficient on Premiere Pro like I am on Final Cut Pro, but give me a few weeks to learn Premiere Pro because I'll be able to catch it on pretty quick, and I will give you a tutorial video. Message me, email me, tell me exactly what you want to learn in Premiere Pro, and I'll show you. What is the best way to speed up the rendering prices when exporting? I think you just mean how to speed up rendering. Dropping down your resolution that you want to export in, freeing up RAM, and just not touching your computer, letting it render. Don't use any of your computer's resources for going on Facebook or YouTube, anything like that. Leave your computer alone and only have one application running. That will speed up your rendering times. Okay? Also, using a solid-state disk instead of a mechanical disk will speed up render time. Higher processor, GPU, CPU, all that stuff is a crucial part in having fast render speeds. And again, it also has to do with the type of program you're using. For example, I use Final Cut Pro. And what Final Cut Pro is that while I edit, it uses the remainder of my computer's resources to pre-render footage. So that way when I do the final render, that pre-rendered footage will be a lot easier and faster to render than non-pre-rendered footage. So I hope that made sense. But that's why Final Cut Pro, I think, is the fastest video editing software out there right now, in my opinion. But yeah, let me see. I think I got a question coming in, but let me double check here. For some reason my phone is acting weird. Huh. So yeah, any more questions, guys, while I figure this out, please go ahead and type it in. Don't know what's going on here. Okay. Cool. I don't see any questions coming in just yet. So, sorry guys. It's a little bit rude of me, but I was just double checking there. Okay. Any more questions, guys? Keep asking. I want to keep this going for another 15-20 minutes, and we'll call it a day. But yeah. Let me know what questions you may have. Any more questions, guys? Making me feel all awkward here and like self-conscious now. Let me know. Let me know. Good. Okay. John Najee says that he's purchased a Phantom 4 Pro and a Mavic Pro, and he's been shooting a lot. Okay, so what do you think, man? Tell me what your thoughts are about the DJI Spark. I just released a video on the DJI Spark and my thoughts on it. I won't be buying one. I'll tell you that right now. I will definitely not be buying one. But it's a cool toy for like novice people. Yeah. John Najee says he doesn't know how to edit them. John, are you using a Mac or are you using a PC? Oh, you have Creative Cloud, which is why you're interested in Premiere Pro. Okay. So while I make some tutorial videos on Premiere Pro, I recommend that you go on YouTube and just type in basic video editing for Premiere Pro. And there's a ton of excellent tutorials, free tutorials on YouTube that show you exactly how to edit with Final Cut Pro. Right? And it's fantastic. I've actually learned a lot about Final Cut Pro from YouTube, so there's definitely people out there that know exactly what they're doing. Here's a good question from Shaftonid. I hope I pronounced that right. How do you focus when filming yourself, or the best way to film yourself? So, okay, let me bring out what I use. So basically, boom. This right here is your best friend. This is what we call a Gorilla Pod. This Gorilla Pod is flexible. It's like a flexible tripod. It can literally go on anything. It can go on your head, or you can actually use it as a selfie stick, like this, right? You put your camera on here. Now the problem is with basic cameras, they cannot focus too well when you have it too close. So it kind of sucks in the beginning, but you have to hold out your arm as far as you can just to keep focus properly. Most cameras have really good focus capabilities. So if you keep your arm out like this, you should be able to get good focus on your autofocus lens. If you have a manual focus lens, stop down the aperture to like, let's say an f11, f12, and you will keep more subjects in focus, especially with a wide-angle lens. A wide-angle lens is your best friend when wanting to keep stuff in focus. All right? So I want to talk a little bit about this little thing I have back here. This, oh, I dropped something. This right here is a vest for a glide cam. It's a dual dampening arm. So basically you put on this massive vest, right? It's all metal. And what happens is that the suspension arm, these dampening arms, they have a huge spring in them. I put the glide cam on here, and what happens is that when I walk, it removes all of that weird up and down movement that we see a lot in glide cam footage. So I'll be shooting my review video on this specific vest. I think I'll start shooting it tomorrow, and I'll release it, I think, next Monday. So stay tuned for that. It's pretty cool. When I first got it, it was kind of a pain to set up, but once you practice with it, it's really easy to use. So we'll cover that in a video. It's pretty big. It's pretty heavy. I mean, look at this. There's no plastic on this thing. It's all aluminum. And it's surprisingly great quality. And it's very cheap, too. It's a really good price. It's around $400. So I've always wanted a vest system. And this vest system is so cool. Put that back right there, and it's just chilling. It's really heavy, but once you put it on, it's pretty cool. Jonna G is asking, are you familiar with the Osmo Plus? Yeah, man, I know the Osmo Plus. You mean the zoomable Osmo, right? Yeah, I've played with one. It's cool, but I sold my Osmo. It was the same camera, just had zoom capabilities. So I sold it. It just didn't give me the picture quality I wanted. Didn't give me the mic, the audio recording capability that I wanted. So that's it. I sold it. So if I sold the Osmo, that means I won't be getting the Osmo Plus or any other Osmo for that matter, unfortunately. But while I had it, I did do some shoots with it. And, you know, picture quality wasn't the best, but I did get some stuff done with it. The Osmo was no good in low light, and you are absolutely right. That's kind of a deal breaker for me. I thought it was just revolutionary technology, which is why I bought it when it first came out. I thought it was just really, really cool. But I realized that the Osmo by itself is cool, but you need a lot more than just that to shoot video, surprisingly. I mean, it's a pretty handy camera, but for professional use in what I'm doing in my line of work, I can't really use it. However, the Osmo with the X5R camera is pretty cool. Okay, Tyler Sultan, what's up, man? What would you recommend for mobile phone video stabilization? Do you mean like electronic or mechanical? So are you talking about software, or are you talking about an actual product? Because I got a few cool gimbals that I can show you that you can buy. Really cool gimbals. So let me know what you mean by that, Tyler, and I'll let you know. So yeah, low light capabilities on the Osmo, non-existent. Not that great, but yeah. Oh, Tyler just replied. Actual product. All right, my friend, I'm going to send you a link right now. You're going to be so happy I sent you this. Give me a second to load it up. I'll show you right now. Dun, 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 dun. Here we go. So check out this gimbal. This is a gimbal that's $298 with free shipping. Check out this product. It has, it's a 3-axis gimbal. It's 32-bit encoders, which means that it's very, very good in battery life. These encoders are like individual computers that control each motor independently. So that way you get quieter operation, easier operation, smoother operation, and it's better on the battery life. So let me know what you think about that. In my opinion, by reading the specs and seeing the footage off of it, the gimbal behaves really nicely, and consider it. I think that will be a great gimbal for you. How important is it to have everything in focus, especially when using a glide cam? Oh, it's very important. If a shot is not in focus, it's unusable. You can't use that shot. Sebastian recommends Filmmaker Pro. He says the stabilization in that app is amazing. I haven't used that app. I'll consider it. But with that gimbal, you're not gonna need an app. It stabilizes everything so nicely. Any tips on travel videos, such as transitioning from clip to clip? Yes, music is important. Music is one of the foundations for traveling videos. So try to edit along with music. I say this in almost every single live stream that I do. Um, Edit along with music. You're going to be happier that way. Clip to clip. Sometimes, it depends. There's a lot of cool animated transitions that are built into Final Cut Pro, built into Sony Vegas and Premiere. Like, there's a bunch of cool transitions. Crossfades are generic. Like the zoom ins to crossfades are nice. Like it all depends on the music. As long as it flows, if you feel it flow and the transitions aren't too distracting, then that's a good transition. Tyler says, I'll definitely look more into it. Thanks so much, man. Love the content. Keep it up. Thanks, Tyler. I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. And if you guys found me helpful in this, if you found this live stream helpful, you can always donate by using the super chat button. That helps me fund the channel, helps me get new equipment so I can review it for you. So please feel free, if you can spare $1 or $2, throw in a super chat and I will donate to this channel. Thank you so much for those of you who'll do that. But yeah, ask me any questions you want. This is free advice for you guys. I'm not hiding anything here. I'll talk about anything with you guys. So that's why I give you this for free, so you guys can learn. I know a lot of people don't have the money to invest in film school and all that other stuff. So yeah. Selectography is asking, do you have a game plan before filming? If so, do you follow it 100%? Yes, I always have a game plan before I start filming. Do I follow it 100%? No, more like 40%, 50%. Following a game plan to the T is not only extremely difficult, but it can also be very limiting on your creative aspect, your creative touch. Sebastian says he will be traveling to Peru and making a travel video. Do you recommend me to select the music before shooting? No, not necessarily. Don't let music decide what you film. Your footage should decide what music you're using. So always choose the music in post-production. Never worry about music. There's music that goes for any type of video. So don't worry. Film the stuff that you want to film. When you come back home, edit it, find the right music. Do I know any good websites for travel songs? Yeah, audioblocks.com is good. There's this YouTube channel on YouTube, obviously, called YouTube Library, which has a ton of really cool things, really good tracks, vlogging tracks specifically. Adios, Antonio. Muchas gracias. And that was a housekeeper. Sorry about that. Tyler, thank you so much for your $5 donation, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, do I know any good websites? Audioblocks is good. YouTube honestly has all the music that you need that's copyright free. And it's free as long as you give the artist credit. So Bass Rebels, that's a great channel to get music from. Audio Library on YouTube is also another great channel to get free music from. So consider that, because if you like Casey Neistat, who's one of the biggest vloggers on YouTube, he takes a lot of their music. I take a lot of their music, and I use a lot of their music for my client videos. So consider it. Bass Rebels, Audio Library, very good, very, very, very good sources of music. Again, thank you, Tyler, for the $5 donation, man. Really, really kind of you. So guys, yeah, if I helped you out, please feel free to donate. Yeah, any questions that you may have, please feel free. So don't forget, for those of you who are filmmakers, we have to talk about the boring stuff, contracts, right? I made a video on how to create a proper contract for your filmmaking business. Check out my video that I made, I think it was last week. Watch that video to a T. Download it if you can. Keep it on your phone. I also put a link there where you can download a sample contract. Just fill in your business name and your client's information. You can use this contract, all right? It works. And you follow that video, understand the clauses in that contract. You're going to really know what protection is all about. when you want to protect yourself, your business, from getting gypped. So keep that in mind, guys. Keep that in mind. Watch that contract video. You have no idea how important it is. But yeah, awesome. Any more questions, guys? Any more questions? Don't be shy. I think that's about it, right? I'll answer one more question, guys, and then we'll end the live stream. And you just checked out audio blogs. Okay, cool. You're welcome, my friend. You're welcome. I hope that works out for you. Don't forget YouTube channels. In my opinion, YouTube channels work even better. Sebastian is asking, have I heard of Epidemic Sound? Have you used it? If so, what do you think about it? Would you recommend it? I haven't used Epidemic Sound, but I've seen videos using their music, and it's really cool. Epidemic Sound is fantastic. I would definitely recommend it. But if you don't have the budget to spend on it, go to these YouTube channels that are offering you free vlog music and free music in general. They're giving it to you for free. No copyright, no nothing. You just got to give credit to the artists in the description. But, I mean, that's if you don't have a budget. And the music is fantastic, by the way. Free music, that's fantastic. Sebastian is asking, oh no, sorry. Selectography is asking, what is your favorite thing to shoot? Music videos, by far. I don't have enough music videos in my arsenal, but it's hard to find artists that I enjoy listening to and also want a cinematographer. So I love music videos, and I even love workout motivational videos. So those are the things that I'm really good at, and I love doing it. Chris Cheek is saying, "Sup everyone? What's up, Chris? How you doing, man? Good to see you." But yeah, that's it. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and close the live stream. I gotta get back to some editing, some work stuff I gotta do, and we'll talk soon. Check out some of my videos. I posted one this morning about the DJI Spark. Yesterday, I posted one about flying indoors with the DJI Mavic Pro. So check out those videos. They're very important. And continue posting questions after this live stream stops being live. I can answer it on the next live stream. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have fun filming. Email me with any questions, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.